BTB listeners, thank you so much for checking out today's episode. Listen, if this episode inspires you, do me a favor, take 5 seconds to shoot me a like and subscribe to the podcast. There are several more exciting guests that are in the pipeline, and I just can't thank you enough for your continued support, and let's keep paying the mission forward. On today's episode of the BTB Project. In today's BTB Short, we are going to be discussing the topic of framing. Think about the power of perceiving your past in a more positive light. It's not just a mental exercise, it's the way to unlock your potential and fuel your personal growth. I want to take you on a journey into a simple yet profound transformative concept that will reshape the way we live our lives. The art of framing. Our past experiences, the ups and downs, those are brushstrokes on a canvas in our lives. And it's how we choose to frame those strokes that can change our present and our future in the ways that we sacredly imagine. Impossible's nothing, and let's do this.
Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you, baby.
Welcome to the BTB Project, designed to empower listeners to identify their why and to live their best lives no matter the circumstances. My name is Coleman Gerhardt. A former athlete and motivational coach, I've had the opportunity to inspire thousands through my story and help accomplish what they are built to be. You'll be encouraged by each and every episode, and let's get into it.
Yeah, when I blow up, I'ma soar high like Peter Pan. In real life, be living out my dreams. If I'm waking up, it's in a foreign land.
Oftentimes, I find myself in conversations where we're reminiscing on the past, whether it's something that I've gone through or the person that I'm talking to has gone through. And in today's BTB Short, we are going to be discussing the art of framing. And when we are framing, I'm talking about how we are framing what has happened to us in our past to allow us to have the ability to take any and all circumstances that we experience and allow it to propel us in a positive way to change our present, to go after what we want in our future, and to truly do things that we never thought we could imagine. First and foremost, when we're thinking about framing, we have to think about embracing the power of perspective. We often find ourselves imprisoned by our past mistakes. I certainly can relate to that. And being haunted by missed opportunities. But what if we flip that script? Instead of dwelling on the negative, we can choose to frame our past as a treasure trove of lessons. I say it all the time to people that feel like they've made mistakes or have underperformed on and off the athletic field. Being able to understand that there's truly no loss in life, that there are only lessons, there are only ways to learn, there are only ways to get better. And framing our mindset to have that approach is what truly gives us what I believe is monumental to do what we want to do. And that's having a growth mindset. Every mistake can become a stepping stone. Every missed opportunity is a moment of preparation. By changing our perspective, we open the door to continued personal growth and development. And being able to have that awareness is a frame, is a mindset that's necessary for you to accomplish your goals, for you to go after your dreams, for you to encourage others. And it's important to maintain that perspective. And as we are walking through that, we're also going to be able, through framing, to enhance the present. By reframing our past positivity, we empower ourselves in the present. Being empowered is such an unbelievable feeling. And when we see ourselves as learners rather than failures, we boost our self-esteem and become more resilient. We're more likely to take risk, to explore, to push boundaries, and ultimately leading to greater success and fulfillment if we're framing that past in a positive mindset. I recently did a podcast in regards to the BTB project story. And it's a lot of the situations that I've been through in my life that can be deemed as a negative, that can be deemed as this difficult circumstance. And being able to frame it as a stepping stone, as a learning trait, as an ability to develop self-awareness to be who I am today and where I want to go. And that's where I challenge you, is as we're creating these frames in our life, how can you take even the darkest, most dim gleam circumstances and make it into a coal fire that allows you to do things that you never thought you'd be able to do? And through that mindset, you're going to start having opportunities to transform relationships. Framing just isn't about how we perceive ourselves. It's also about how we interact with others. Things like forgiveness, things like understanding and empathy, it all springs to this positive framing of our past interactions. I had a podcast a while back in regards to the importance of forgiveness and writing letters to people that have hurt you the most, to not only forgive them for what has happened, but to forgive yourself for whatever they did. Because being able to have these qualities of transforming relationships, these are continued building blocks for even stronger and more meaningful relationships down the road. And by embracing that perspective, we can create a ripple effect of positivity in our personal and our professional lives. And through that, we're now paving the way to a brighter future. See how we've put our past into a positive frame allows us to master and do things that we never thought we would be able to accomplish. And when our view of the past is always hinged on positivity, we foster an optimistic outlook on the future. The optimism becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and that motivating opportunity allows us to seize and conquer even the greatest of challenges. See, when it comes to resiliency, when it comes to being able to handle adversity or overcoming the odds, you're framing each and every one of these stepping stones into a positive vessel that galvanizes you even more as you take on more difficult circumstances in life. And with this mindset, we can face setbacks with resilience, knowing that we've triumphed in adversity before. No matter how difficult those circumstances are, you're going to be able to look back and say, I did it. I was able to overcome. I was able to persevere. And it makes me reflect back on a lot of different situations in my life where, yeah, it was difficult to have a mom that was fighting addiction. And yes, it was difficult to overcome weight loss and being socially scrutinized for the way that I looked and so on and so forth. But the beautiful part about those difficult circumstances is not necessarily how you overcame it, but the testimony, the positive frame that's created because of how you're able to accomplish this really award of conquering your past with positive frames. I'm going to say that again. Being able to conquer your past with positive frames is going to set you up for an incredible opportunity to be present and an incredible opportunity for what you're striving for in the future. And through that, we're going to be able to empower resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity. It's a superpower that positive framing can bestow upon each and every one of us. It is the belief that we've weathered the storm and we've emerged stronger than ever that allows us to stay committed to our dreams, no matter how formidable the obstacles may seem. I have a really good example when I'm thinking about the art of framing and creating positive mindset and how it can transform our lives in profound ways. And it makes me think of a situation when I was in college and I unfortunately lost my mom, and it was a really difficult circumstance of which emotionally at 20 years old, I felt broken. I felt like, I was too young to have a parent have to pass away. And I was really trying to navigate that. And emotionally, I was really struggling. And being able to look back now at one of the most difficult situations in my life, I remember my college coach at the time, who was one of my biggest supports and one of my biggest mentors and one of my biggest advocates to help me play college tennis, all of a sudden told me that I was off the team. And I couldn't understand in that moment why I was going to be removed from the tennis team. But what he told me in that moment, I'll never forget. He said, "Coleman, this loss that you've had in your life, I can see you're emotionally struggling. And I don't know if playing on a team is what's best for you right now. I don't know if doing something like that will be able to help you with the grieving process." And it was so challenging to hear that, because at that point in my life, college tennis meant everything to me. But when I go back and I think about how difficult it was to channel that situation, I would have to say that I'm thankful. Here's the positive frame. I'm thankful for that opportunity to have him tell me that I was off the team. And the reason being was, when I think back, he was right. He was right to tell me what was best for my emotional well-being and for me to focus on myself. To me, being able to go through the grieving process, it is a process. And sometimes it has to be a fixed focus. And in the moment, I couldn't understand. In the moment, I was frustrated. In the moment, I was angry. But the moment I put it into a positive frame, it ended up being one of the letters I wrote, letters of apology, making that person understand how much they meant in my life, despite how much it hurt and how difficult it was when they made that decision. But as I wrote that letter, it turned into a letter that came back. It turned into opportunities to reconnect. It turned into opportunities to push one another again, to be support and mentored again by him. All because I took a tough situation and I put it into a positive frame. Being able to find beacons of hope, a source of inspiration, a tool for education, comes with this art of framing. And as we learn to paint our past with the hues of positivity, it not only will enhance our own lives, but it will also inspire those around us. So do me a favor as a listener. Let's be artists of our own stories. Framing our past experiences as a stepping stone to our future success is key. And let's embrace the power of perspective, enhance our present, transform our relationships, and pave the way to a brighter future. In this canvas of life, remember, that is how you frame your past, and how can each brushstroke lead to a masterpiece. I am proud of each and every one of you. And in today's BTB short, it's so important for us to truly master the art of framing. What do you have going on in your past that you can put a positive frame around to not only conquer that moment in your life, but also put it in a frame to help pay it forward, to do things remarkable, and to become an inspiration and to have an empowerment as you are on your built to be journey. Listen, if this episode inspired you, do me a favor, like and subscribe to the BTB Project. Better yet, share this with a friend, colleague, relative, anybody that you can think of that needs to hear the good news about framing. How are you going to frame a positive light in your life? Let's pay it forward. Let's continue to impact lives and to continue the movement of the BTB Project. Until next time, take care, and impossible is nothing.